What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing another video on the Madden 22 ratings. And of course, you can tell this is our top 10 sleeper players. Now, as the years go on in Madden, it seems like the unproven talents, whether their 40 time shows it or they're jumping and all that, says that they are like an athletic freak or whatever, they have still been kind of neglected a bit, and you'll see that in a moment with one of our players that should be faster than they are, but is still considered, obviously, a sleeper or a very good player anyways. But obviously, I'm saying this because it's harder and harder every year on Madden to find these sleepers or even have them. But I was able to get 10. I also have another like 10 or 15 total that are good players, but I don't know if I would consider them sleepers or if I would really consider them all that great. But either way, a compilation of names here, basically, that you can potentially trade for in Madden 22. Obviously, some of these names are going to be obvious. Some of these names you're never even going to have heard of. Some of these names are going to be from last Madden, believe it or not. So we are going to start with the first one. This is in no particular order at all, but we're going to start with the first one. Does he count? Does he not count? I don't know. But as far as this year's quarterback sleepers go, there really is only one. I wish I could just let me just get Tyler Huntley in there because I want just one. But I believe Tyler Huntley is in 22, 23-year-old quarterback. Of course, very comparable speed ratings to Jalen Hurts. Same with the throw power, but actually a little bit better here. The thing is, he's a little inaccurate, I'll be honest. He's a little inaccurate. Where are those accuracy ratings, speaking of, that we're not going to want to see? So 73 short, 70 medium, 72 deep, 77 play action, and 74 throw on the run. Traits also matter, but obviously we don't have that luxury at this point in time, so maybe another list comes out when the game actually comes out, or they change some ratings. I don't know, but Tyler Huntley is really the only sleeper-esque quarterback, unless you want to count like someone like Kellen Mond as a sleeper, which I don't really think you can, because the quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds in the NFL draft are always, on the radar, obviously, especially for teams that need quarterbacks. Davis Mills is on the radar, Kellen Mond is on the radar, just because the quarterback situations there are questionable. Don't know what's going to happen. I think Kirk Cousins is more stable than Watson at this point, because we don't know, at least for the Houston Texans at least, because we don't know if he's going to be there. But technically, Tyler Huntley counts. Technically, he doesn't. Quarterbacks, not really many sleepers this year. It's not like last year where we had that Titans quarterback, and was it Tyree Jackson was also last year, or was that a year before? I can't remember. But yeah, those quarterbacks, not really looking super sleeper-esque these days, but this guy, I guess, kind of counts. Now, I wish I could get rid of this stupid, I'm going to try to get, I don't want this stupid moving crap on the bottom, but of course, Nwangwu, I believe is his name, 23 years old, rookie running back for the Vikings. Decent fit, actually. They kind of like their, dual-style backs. I know he's not like a trucking back, you know what I mean, like Dalvin Cook, and then having Nwangwu, where some teams like the Titans are just give it to Derrick Henry. But of course, very, very fast. And the reason why I say, it's harder to find him every year is because this guy, he is very fast. Don't get me wrong, 94 speed, 95 excel, but he was clocked at like a 4.29. You could have easily made the argument that one of those ratings could have been a 96, maybe 97. Of course, he does make the list as a sleeper by far. Change of direction is rough, I will admit. He's kind of like a straight line sprinter. But of course, in Madden, that's kind of really all you need. This guy's definitely a running back I would like to see maybe on a Dolphins roster, or maybe the Falcons or the Jets, a team that kind of needs a running back, a starting running back that you can work with. Obviously, a solid sleeper here. And of course, if you guys have been enjoying these types of videos, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe if you're new. We do a ton of franchise stuff. But another thing you can do is, maybe you'll have to try to remember to the end of the video, but if there's a player I miss at any position or anything at all that you guys think would be a really good sleeper, whether it's real-life knowledge and it actually is that way in ratings, or you've been looking at the ratings yourself and you're like, how did he miss this guy? Let me know in the comment section below, because this is the one I'll definitely miss. The top 5 franchise teams probably pretty clear-cut. The ones that I chose are the best in my opinion. But this one, I'm obviously going to miss somebody, right? Like, it's impossible to know every single sleeper. Now, of course, fullbacks really just aren't looked at positions in general anyways. This guy doesn't count as one of my top 10 sleepers. This is just kind of like an honorable mention. But Gillespie, former Texan, now a Giant. I don't know, I think he was there last year, in fairness. But very fast fullback. Nothing really spectacular. But if you're in a league where, you can't just put a running back at fullback, but you want someone fast there for fakes or, fake punts and whatnot, this would obviously be your guy. Super fast. Nothing really to talk about, just a fast fullback. Now for the wide receivers, I don't actually have a technical sleeper at wide receiver. A lot of guys that we already know about. A lot of guys that are actually kind of on the radar. A guy like Anthony Schwartz isn't technically a sleeper. We all kind of were paying attention to him because of that blazing speed. And, of course, he does have a pretty good speed rating in Madden. 97 speed, 94 excel. Could have made the argument to make him even faster, at least in the excel department. Agility's lacking. He's a decent catcher. What about his jumping? Ooh, 78 jumping, unfortunately. But, obviously, a decent wide receiver. Like I said, doesn't technically count as a sleeper, but figured not everyone knows every single name. Some of you guys are just only playing franchise. Some of you guys don't even watch the NFL and you only play franchise, or you just didn't pay attention. So a guy like Schwartz would definitely be someone that would be on my radar if, somehow the league you play in, if you're online, doesn't know about him, or they're just blind, I guess. I don't know, but definitely a guy to work with. He's not, fully developed, and you could obviously, get him going. Another guy, 70 overall, so once again, not even a sleeper really at all, but kind of a jump ball god, like built to be a jump ball god. Decent enough speed, right? Decent enough speed. He has 94 jumping, and I believe his catch in traffic or his spec was pretty good, right? Spec 83, which is actually pretty good for a youngster, lower overall as well. Once again, I don't have a single sleeper for this, but these guys are, they're sleepers, but they're not like pure top 10 sleepers. It's not like Albert O from previous Maddens. And by previous Maddens, I mean this Madden and last Madden. Like, this guy you can maybe consider one of the top 10 sleepers, but, not really, because he is 6'4", but, not crazy off-the-charts speed, right? Like, 91 speed and 89 excel. A lot of these guys you're going to see, assuming they didn't really change the scouting players, the actual draft players, that much, you're going to see a lot of these guys in the draft classes. You look at his jumping, only 83. Yeah, he's 6'4", but his jumping sucks. How much our animation's going to play a factor? Is it just going to be catch rating and all that? There's a reason why I don't have an actual sleeper pick for my wide receivers. Another returning face from last year. I believe he actually was on my top 10 sleeper list, which technically still fits that. Super fast. Quez Watkins, still young. Decent player, good jumping and all that. Once again, nothing crazy off the charts, but very fast. So technically, at least I'm giving you some names. And then the final kind of wide receiver honorable mention guy is Nico Collins, the rookie. Once again, is he really a sleeper? I wouldn't say so, especially on a team like the Texans who kind of need wide receiving talent. But obviously, built to be a jump ball guy. 91 jumping. I believe his spec catch is pretty good too. Where is it? 84 spec catch. 82 catch in traffic as a rookie. Obviously, a decent jump ball guy. That's who I would use. And I did mention him before, but this is like the only real sleeper-esque player, and I would consider him. This guy counts. So far we have Huntley, 50-50 counts. Negwangwu, he's 100% one of my sleepers. And then Albert O counts as a sleeper yet again. Super fast player, solid catching. Route running is lacking, but which player isn't at tight end, it seems. Blocking is okay. He's definitely a sleeper because, at the end of the day, either the tight end is old or the tight end is already established. That's basically it. There's no real such thing as a sleeper tight end, but Albert O counts. Now, Muti was on this list last year as a top 10 sleeper. Isn't this year, but an honorable mention once again. Very strong, young, could be star development trade again. And obviously, 89 impact blocking, solid 70s across the board, a solid starting core lineman. And then we have Sam Cosmi, whose rating for strength is a bit lower than I would have expected, but absolutely insanely fast, pulling guard type, low 70s. ratings. Not bad for a rookie at all. Technically counts as a sleeper, but isn't actually one of my sleepers. So a good player, definitely someone to trade for if you're in an offline league. And, you know, he's super easy to trade for. He's 66 overall. Unlikely to be star, but if he is, you know, even better. And then another guy, doesn't count, but another guy to think about if you're really lacking on the O-line and, you know, you don't see anyone decent enough to start around the league. At least you got a guy that's young, super fast, decent strength, and like I think 23 years old, I believe. Counts on the list, but not actually a top 10 sleeper. And now we have a really good player. I mean, not necessarily under the radar, but kind of under the radar. Ezra Cleveland in the league for his second year now. Very fast, solid strength, and if I'm not mistaken, really good blocking ratings. You can see solid blocking ratings. Impact blocks a little low, but overall very good stuff. Probably play him at guard, to be honest. And then another guy that, once again, doesn't really count under the radar. This is a guy that a lot of people paid attention to in the draft, but very solid-looking rookie. Could he be hidden? I don't know, but decently fast, obviously. Solid strength, and I believe very good ratings. You can see very good impact blocking. A solid lineman out the gate. Definitely a guy you could develop for the future, especially if we actually have lineman breakouts. Now, I know you're probably thinking, does it really count? Is he a sleeper? Late third-round pick, and we have actually two linemen that actually make my top 10 list here. Kendrick Green is one of them. A 66 overall that just does not look like a 66 overall. 76 speed, 84 excel, 88 strength, 73 awareness. And then we'll go over to the blocking where you see he has a massive 90 impact block, 68 run block, 72 run block finesse, low 60s for the pass block with a 87 lead block. I mean, this guy can be your guard. I mean, if this guy's not your guard, I don't know what you're doing. I think he's a waste at center here, at least in Madden. Definitely one of my top 10 sleepers as he looks absolutely solid. Could he even have a hidden? I mean, he kind of looks like a guy that should have hidden, right? Because he looks like he has so much potential. And then we have your poor man's Mekhi Becton, another late third-round pick. But, of course, 64 overall, so he's not really on the radar necessarily. But this man, I believe, is 6'8", 74 speed, 84 excel, 91 strength. Massive, massive player with a 60 awareness, which, of course, you're thinking, okay, well, 60 awareness. That means, you know, his rating's kind of deflated, if you will. 90 impact block. Another guy with the kind of speed that could play guard, but obviously with that frame, I'm keeping him at tackle. And then we have this guy. I have him on my list, but once again, does he count as a sleeper? I don't know, but he's good enough to technically make the list, I suppose. Tommy, is it Togiai? Togoy? I don't know. But 72 speed for a DT, 82 excel, 91 strength. A pretty big fella, obviously. Only 53 awareness, which I'm not sure how much that matters, because awareness matters, but I thought it was more of like that's an issue with defensive play, like coverage guys more than, you know, like pass rushers or just people on the line in general. But of course, you could see here 71 block shed. The power move and finesse is lacking a little bit, but 64 power move. That's why I hesitated. Do I want him on my list or not? Very good core ratings, you know, very solid speed and all that. Strength is fine and all that. Block shed's good. Does he count as a top 10? Maybe, kinda. I don't know. Then you have another guy that I actually really do like quite a bit. He's a lot slower, but 93 strength for the massive, I believe, 346. For some reason that sounded wrong, but it's not. 346 pounder Tyler Shelvin. And I believe he does like 88 impact block. I believe he also does have pretty good block shed. Yes, 73. I'd actually debate having Shelvin on my top 10 sleeper list over him. But once again, do they even count as sleepers? Now we have another guy that doesn't really count at all as a sleeper, but just a guy I thought that was insanely talented. Probably just a true DT instead of a left end, but I believe the Lions are moving to a 3-4 technically. But Levi Onwuzurike, that sounds right, but super fast, good strength. And then if you look at his block shed, finesse, and power, it's all there. Doesn't count as a sleeper, but I figured I'd show you him anyways. Now we have a guy that I actually really wanted the Packers to get. That is not him. That I actually wanted the Packers to get, and he went like slightly before us. And I would honestly assume he probably would have been our pick with the interior need, left end, right end need in the 3-4 defense. But Basham, Listed as a DT, I mean, for Madden franchise, I would say he's actually an edge, even with his size. But in real life, I wouldn't say that. But in Madden, I'd say he's an edge. 86 speed, 87 excel. The strength is only 81. That's why I would say he's edge. I just don't think he has the strength for pure DT in Madden. But 74 block shed, really good stuff for an edge specifically. And then 70 finesse, definitely workable for the edge as well. Definitely can fit as that, like, Brandon Graham style guy, but with actual speed. But once again, does not count as a sleeper, but gotta show you. And then this guy, he definitely counts as a top 10 sleeper. He's one of the actual official ones that I have on my list, just because of how low of an overall he is and where he went. 85 strength, 88 excel, 83 agility, very solid core ratings, especially for a rookie. 92 jump, which is really, really impressive. Change of direction, 74. Of course, I would put him at a pass rush because you see the coverage ratings aren't great, but if you were to drop him back into coverage and user him every once in a while, you know, if you're in a 3-4, not the worst thing in the world. Block shed's lacking. Finesse is decent enough to, you know, get a roll on with him. He counts just because, once again, for a 64 overall, he's definitely looking primed. Another guy that I thought was going to make the list here for me, but, I mean, he's just another player to mention. Jabril Cox, a guy that kind of fell a lot further than people thought he would have. 88 speed, 90 excel, decent agility, but I believe his change of direction is a little iffy. 82 jump, 74 change of direction. That's about on par for the fast linebackers, unless you're truly elite for change of direction. But the reason why he's on my list is because he has really high ratings in man and zone coverage for a rookie in general. Like, I don't know where that ranks him, but that's got to rank him man and zone wise in the top 20 of all coverage linebackers in Madden. It would not surprise me. You just don't see high coverage ratings for linebackers. Hip power is lacking a little bit, but because of the change of direction and jumping, I don't know. I don't know if I consider him one of my top 10. Now, this guy isn't one of my top 10, but he actually is very sleepy slash, I mean, maybe he's tired, I don't know, but sneaky-ish type player. 86 speed, 84 excel, but the thing that makes him really special, really good jumping, by the way, 88 jumping. The thing that makes him special is he has really good power, really good block shed for an outside linebacker, and decent finesse. And of course, his man and zone coverage ratings are decent, so he's a pretty good 3-4 fit. He's actually just like a really solid player. Not quite good enough to make the sleeper list, but once again, another player that I thought you guys might want to, you know, come back to and look at. And, hey, I remember that 3-4 guy. Let's put him on the team. A guy that almost made the sleeper list, but some of the core ratings that you need to be a truly elite, speedly linebacker. I know I'm just making up words at this point. He's just missing. But rookie Nick Neiman, 89 speed, 91 excel. He's a white guy, which is really interesting to see. 87 agility. I was like, oh, promising. You know, trash catching at 55. But the thing that did not allow him to be on the list is 81 jumping does kind of suck. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't suck. It's good for a linebacker, but it's not great for the elite list. But unfortunately, only a 74 change of direction. And if I'm not mistaken, coverage rating's pretty lacking. 55 man, 62 zone, I believe it said, and only 72 hit power. So a guy to think about, you know, kind of like a Blake Cashman-esque player. I think he's 23. So, you know, kind of, you know, gives me Blake Cashman vibes from last year. But, of course, the best, potentially the absolute best sleeper on the entire list has to go to Baron Brown, and it has to. And I think, in my opinion, he counts as a sleeper. I mean, I know people think about this guy's name, but where he was taken and his overall only being a 67, I don't think he really counts as like a main guy. Don't get me wrong, it really sucks. 46 catching really sucks, but I could not deny his other ratings. 87 speed, very, very good. Excel, 91, really good. 85 agility, decent. But what puts him on that list is 93 jumping. For a freaking middle linebacker, that's insane. That's better than most safeties that you can even put at sub. And he has a 75 change of direction, which is really decent, obviously. But the main thing is he also has 85 hit power and 65 man, 60 zone. Decent pursuit. 73 block shed, which is really high for a linebacker. He is an absolute stone cold sleeper killer. If only that catching was higher, but of course, giving me shorter Tremaine Edmonds vibes, I suppose. Absolute beast player. Gotta get him. And definitely one of the top 10 sleepers. And then you have another guy. He's not a sleeper, but he's an okay player. 86 speed, 89 XL. He's kind of like a poor man's Baron Browning. I know it's weird to say because Baron Browning's not even established, but 48 catching, another really bad catching player. Jumping 78. But what makes Monty Rice a pretty solid player, other than the fact that everyone ever drafted him last Madden in those rookie classes that we all downloaded, is the fact that he does have really good hit power at 87. So like I said, poor man Baron Browning, definitely not one of the top 10 list players, but, you know, in case maybe you're playing an online league and, you know, you've got 4 users, 8 users, whatever it is, and somebody's watching this video, they're like, oh, Baron Browning, you know, Monty Rice, that's maybe your second go, or your Nick Niemans, you know. It's just a fun little list. Of course, the top 10, I think, are still really good sleepers. Unfortunately, I couldn't search him by his real name, but here it is. Javelin Guidry, obviously on my list for top 10 sleepers. Still young. I believe he's 23 in real life. He is on the shorter side of 5'9", but if you've been watching our Steal a Superstar series, he was, I have to say was, because he actually got Superstar recently, I believe, right? But he was actually like one of the best players on the entire team. And we had a bunch of superstars and really high overall players, and he's only a 69 overall, 96 speed, 93 XL. You can kind of see where his talent comes into play. 67 catching, very solid for a cornerback. Only 85 jumping, it's good enough. Returning, that's so stupid, it should be higher. His coverage ratings aren't super great, but if you've watched that series, man, he is a god, and obviously one of the big things, the main things in these sleeper videos is top-tier speed. And as far as corners go, I believe it puts him in the top 3. Definitely in the top 1%, but top 3 corners for speed in the game. Another kind of fast corner player, Chris Claybrooks. I believe he's like 23 as well. Decent speed. I think he's 5'11", 73 catching, which is really good. 88 jumping, which is solid. And, you know, okay coverage ratings. Once again, these guys are going to be guys you're going to be developing. If you're a team that has no number 2 corner, number 3 corner, and, you know, all the old players suck or they're just gone, you might as well start someone like this that you could potentially develop, right? Because the main thing that matters is athletics if you got a guy that sucks anyways, right? So, Chris Claybrooks, not one of the top 10s, but someone to think about. Here is one of our actual top 10s, safety, technically, Divine Diablo. I thought he was going to be listed as a linebacker. Many leagues will probably allow him to go back to linebacker, but if you're going to keep him at safety, definitely counts as one of my top 10s. Very, you know, not very fast, but decent enough. 91 speed with 87 XL definitely puts him at the average to above average rating for speed. 71 catching, which is solid. 82 jumping, I will admit, is a little low. Kind of, you know, begs the question of is he a linebacker, especially with 74 change of direction, but he also has 64 block shed, which for a safety, for a linebacker, that's solid. 69 zone, definitely workable, and then a massive 88 hit power. And did I mention that the man is 6'3"? Now, it doesn't really matter too much, but kicker punter, Tucker McCann is my punter, my kicker sleeper. He was last Madden, he is this Madden. And then I don't really even have a sleeper for punter, but I suppose Johnny Townsend would be my punter sleeper, technically. And even though he was a sleeper last Madden as well, and I was going to get him for our Rams League, but I had to go with the other sleeper, Tucker McCann, because once again, you can't really draft a good kicker, but you can always find fast rookie linebackers, is Javen White. The reason why he wasn't actually one of my top 10s is because he is 24 now, which at a 62 overall 24, I mean, he's a 62 overall at outside linebacker. So if you actually put him in middle, he's probably like a 59, 60. It's rough. It's rough. But as far as athletics go, he might be the most athletic linebacker in the game over Parsons, over technically Fred Warner. I know his speed's not great, but his change of direction's sick. Over Isaiah Simmons, all of them, because insane speed for one. 91 speed, 92 XL, 84 agility. But his change of direction is a freaking 81, which is absolutely crazy. But as you can see, coverage ratings are lacking. Block shed's okay at 64. Obviously, it's pretty decent. Hit power is only 74. So if he was 22, 23, maybe he makes the list. But at 24, you know, someone to think about. But I don't know. He might be too late for him to develop. So just to recap the actual top 10, there was a bunch of different names. Probably like 20, 25 sleeper names. But the actual top 10, technically goes as follows. Tyler Huntley, the quarterback, at number 1. Not, 1 to 10, but just to list that there's 10 of them. Ngwangwu, the running back, super fast, makes it number 2. Alberto, number 3, fast tight end. Kendrick Green, fast, good potential guard, at number 3, or at number 4 anyways. Spencer Brown, the 5th guy on our list. Basically a poor man's Mekhi Becton, very fast. Shaka Tony at number 5, 6, I don't know, dude. Number 6 would be Tony. Number 7 would be Tyler Shelvin, actually, just because I can't overvalue a 346-pound rookie that has good strength, decent block shed, absolute beast nose tackle, at least looks like it. Number 8 would be Baron Browning, very fast, decent change of direction, high jump, high hit power linebacker. The javelin, super speedy, outperforms his overalls. And Diablo, the 10th guy, the 6'3", fast enough, 88 hit power, decent catching safety who could play linebacker. Obviously, lots of names in there, whether it was, actual official top 10 or a bunch of different players just to trade for in general. Hopefully, you guys thought the list was decent. Once again, let me know in the comment section below if there's anyone I missed. I try to keep it under 70 overall and under 24 years of age, because otherwise, what's the point? Either they're too old to use or they're on the radar. Try to do that. So let me know if I did miss anyone that was blatant. And that's pretty much it. I think that would be the last video for today. I don't know if you would have seen Rams stats and awards earlier today or not. I know you guys seen the top 5 franchise teams video, but regardless, this will be the last video of the day no matter what. Tomorrow we'll have a rebuild, maybe a second video with that. It would obviously be coming out first anyways, but definitely a rebuild tomorrow, and then, maybe regularly planned stuff on Monday, maybe another ratings video. We'll see. Anyways, though, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Do a ton of franchise stuff. We'll be doing a ton of franchise stuff in the future and near future. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PKR Plays, and then twitch.tv/Jeromepkr, where we'll be back on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's about it. Hopefully you guys come back for next video, but until next video, see ya!